Dear friends, I'm pleased to welcome you here. Thank you very much for coming with us today. This is definitely a victory for us, the victory against COVID for all those people who got vaccinated, who are responsible and who can be here with us today. So we're about to start our 4th year of the award for the partnership. Like every year, we're gathering the best cases among the companies from Ukraine and other countries so that we would be able to show in what way the companies, in partnerships with the civil sector, in partnership with the local authorities, in partnership with the academia, can create important, impactful projects and can go to our successful implementations of the Sustainable Development Goals. We see the progress every year. If, for example, when we have started, we have only seen the most of the social projects. So right now we are already proud so that our companies have demonstrated the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals in their strategic and operational activities. In what way do we work? We're working based on the trust, because when we're talking about the trust, it's about people to be having the sparkle in their eyes, in their hearts, when they're doing some good deeds, not because they were told to do so, but because they really want to do something good about that in the world. The trust, openness and transparency is something that we work on a daily basis with, and I do hope that you have all trusted us as the Global Compact UN, because this year, and I would like to ask you to turn on the presentation on the screen, because this is the year that we're really proud of getting 41 companies for the local community of the Global Compact UN network. Can I have the next slide, please? If you remember, last year we have reported about the 2020 and 20 companies that are working with us. Today we have 2021 and we have 41 companies join on board. Our global office has outlined us as the fast growing local network in Europe. And I do hope that the next year we're going to have at least we will be able to double the results. So this year we have been really active. We have had 52 projects events, just our events. We have participated as partners for more than 60 partnering events, 6 global events, 8 implemented projects for us, and 3 new ambassadors. Can I have a next slide, please? So we have Olena Frolyak. She's here with us today, and slightly later she's going to be presenting as well, the editor-in-chief and the host of Fakty ICTV. Alex Lisitsa, the general director of MK, the head of the Association of the Ukrainian Club of Agricultural Businesses, and Vasyl Khmelnytsky, the Ukrainian entrepreneur, the founder of the U Future Holding and the Key Fund. And we are searching, we're searching for more. We're searching for our ambassador for the peace and justice direction. So if you know who this person might be, and if you believe that you are this very person who can promote this direction in the Global Compact UN network, we'll be really grateful for that, and we will talk to you about that. What else are we planning to do? What it is that we would like to engage our partnership, our partners and our companies already. The young SDG innovators. We have just ended the second wave of that, and we are currently having the people for the third round of this program, the program that gives the opportunity for the teams from different directions to create their own sustainable projects, and we give them the opportunity to show those projects to the international community. At the year 1, we have reported about our projects at the leadership summits. Our company, they have been reporting at the General Assembly of the United Nations sessions, and I do hope that we'll be doing that next year from Mars. The next slide, please. This year, we're also joining a new program, the Sdg Pioneers. We're going to be selecting the best people among the companies who are promoting the Sustainable Development Goals among their companies. It's going to be a national selections, and best of the best are going to be nominated for the global for the global competitions, for the Sdg Pioneers, and the best 10 people from all over the world. They're going to be invited to the General Assembly session when they're going to be awarded from the hands of the Secretary General of the UN. So please learn more about our program, make a photo of this QR codes, and do apply now. The next slide, please. Counter-corruption actions. And starting from next week, starting from December 9th, we're going to have the International Anti-Corruption Day. For the second year in a row, we already have the week of fighting corruption, and on the 7th of December and on the 10th of December, we're going to have 2 offline events, and we would like to invite you to those events as well. The 7th of December, we're going to have the high-level events with the managers of the big businesses from Ukraine and from all over the world, with the support of the Swiss Embassy to Ukraine and with the support of the Ukrainian Forum Conference. We're going to be discussing the way that the businesses can be engaged for the anti-corruption programs and how they can supply and support the state practices. And on the 10th of December, we would like to invite the compliance officers to speak more precisely in what way, how you can improve your anti-corruption procedures inside of your companies. Just a little bit, some of the things I have forgot. This year we have got the right to have our headline event that is titled United Business Life Europe in Kiev. It has never happened before. We're going to be inviting all of our local networks from Europe, from Western Europe. We would like all of them to join us. In this event, we're going to have a lot of interesting panel discussions with the business leaders from many different countries all over the world. We're going to be dedicating our discussions from the Big Green Deal and the climate topics. That would be the 5th of April 2022. Kiev, I would like to invite all of you to follow our main notifications. We'll have more information then. And of course, what kind of partnership awards without the partners? We are really happy that our informational partner is Starlight Media. Our ESG partner was the KPMG company. Our partners today, the Well Done Translation Agency, ICC, the American Chambers of Commerce, Pernod Ricard, Ukraine, they're going to be providing some treats for us slightly later at the reception, and our partners, the women of Ukraine, engaged, capable, unbreakable. That is being implemented by PACT with the support of the Canadian government. The main goal for us is to introduce the gender equality in Ukraine and promoting gender equality in Ukraine. PACT, as an organization, has been already implementing these policies in more than 50 countries all over the world, in Europe, Americas, and Asian countries, to change the world of the life of the people for better. In Ukraine, starting from year 2000, PACT has been collaborated with the business, government, and local NGOs, are changing the world and building the future where everyone owns their future, when everyone is heard, is engaged, and is capable. We're very grateful to all of our partners. I would like to ask you to give a round of applause to all of our partners. Thank you. And we're about to start our first part of our today's event, and we are going to be starting with contentful part. We really wanted to talk to all of our members of our jury in what way the companies should follow the ESG principles. What does those principles mean, and what are the main trends in the world, so that the companies all over the world will be able to develop sustainably furthermore. And would like to invite the head of the Global Compact in Switzerland, Antonia Hattler. Please, Antonio, join me here. Today, we also have the honor to have online with us Reid Stedman, the head and the global manager of the ESG for the Dow Jones Indices, who has also been evaluating and assessing our projects. And I'm going to have the moderator. We're going to have Tatiana Prokopchuk, who is the Vice President of the American Chamber of Commerce in Ukraine. So, okay, I would like to thank you. Thank you very much. So, dear colleagues, our discussion is going to be in English. So, if you will need interpretation, so please make sure that you will take the headsets for interpretation. You can ask our colleagues.
So good afternoon, dear ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tatiana Prokopchuk. I am Vice President of MCM Ukraine, and I am absolutely delighted to welcome you at the panel discussion ESG, Understanding the Long-Term Value that we have within the Partnership for Sustainability Award 2021 ceremony. First of all, Tatiana, a massive thank you and brilliant UN Global Compact Network Ukraine team for all your efforts uniting businesses and shaping sustainable future. Indeed, as you mentioned in the very beginning, that doing well while doing good, this is a trend that is gaining momentum every day, and sustainability priorities are on top of the agenda for companies, for countries, and international community. And now we have a great opportunity to discuss during upcoming 20 minutes, what is the long-term value for companies? What are the trends, and what can we do more for companies on their sustainability journey? Dear ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our speakers. Antonio Gatle, Executive Director of Global Compact Network Switzerland and Liechtenstein. Antonio, delighted to see you. Many thanks for this opportunity. And Reed Stedman, Managing Director, Global Head of ESG at Dow Jones Indices, who is joining us online from the United States. Reed, are you with us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We hope to see you soon. Good morning.
Great to be with you.
Welcome to Kyiv virtually.
Thank you very much.
And the first question will be for you. Let's start with the investor's perspective. You are responsible for design, strategy, and commercial policy governing ESG indices. Investors trust your performance as benchmarks for investable products. And how the UN Global Compact compliance, sustainable development goals, and ESG criteria impact the decision-making process from the investor's perspective?
Yes, thank you. They have a huge impact. They're becoming more and more important, more and more integral to the investment process. As a matter of fact, it's very rare that we build any strategy that does not have the UN Global Compact as an element of it. Investors want to make sure that they're investing in companies that are in compliance with the United Nations Global Compact. And so it's just becoming a bigger and bigger part, as are the Sustainable Development Goals. That is a trend that we're going to see more in the future. And if companies are doing well according to the Sustainable Development Goals, they're going to see investment increase. If they are doing poorly relative to those goals, they may see investment go from them. So it's very important. ESG, the UN Global Compact, they're becoming more prominent in the investment decision process.
Indeed, doing well while doing good. And from the Wall Street perspective, what are the most significant trends that you observe, and how is it important for a company has a strong ESG profile while seeking investments?
Yes, so one of the biggest trends that we see is a lot of the analysis that was used in public markets, so for companies that maybe trade on exchanges around the world, now that analysis is actually moving to private markets as well. So it's not just critical in terms of, say, equity investments, but it's also critical in private investments. And it's driving more and more decisions around how capital is allocated in these private markets. Another trend that we're seeing is modeling of how companies are doing, even private companies. So even if a company doesn't put out information, all the same, the global investment community is going to make some judgments about how a company might be doing. And how will they do that? You know, they'll look at the country that a company operates in. They'll look at the sector that they operate in, and they'll make some judgments based upon that. For this reason, it's critical that companies actually do share some information. So their performance is not just modeled, but it's actually based upon real information coming from the company.
Great. Thank you very much for sharing with us investors' perspective. But speaking about sectors, could you possibly outline maybe just top sectors that are on the top of your mind, or it's like general trend for all areas and all sectors?
It's definitely a trend across all sectors, but we see the ones that are having the greatest environmental impact. Those are ones where investors are particularly interested. So any industry that either produces a lot of energy or consumes a lot of energy, or is involved in different natural resources such as metals and mining, these areas are of high interest. But it doesn't mean that other companies also aren't of high interest in other sectors. So you look at the tech industry, there's a really high interest in governance when it comes to tech, making sure that companies are operating according to good principles and are using the information maybe that they harvest from people that are using their sites, using their technology, using that in a responsible way.
Great, thank you so much. And now, Antonio, let's talk about a company's perspective. You work as the executive director for Global Compact Network Switzerland and Liechtenstein since 2015, and you saw how companies' strategies and attitudes change over time. In terms of efforts and strategies implemented by small, medium, large companies, when approaches sustainable and responsible business practices like ESG, 10 UN principles, OECD guidelines, HR compliance, how these priorities and agendas evolve over the time, and what is the impact for the business, for the economy and society at large?
Thank you, Tatiana. To start, I'm really happy to be here again. It's now the third time I have the privilege to be on the jury and here in person, in presence. Due to the situation, it's not evident, so I'm really happy to be among you and be your host, your guest, I want to say. To come to the companies, I mean, you were mentioning it. I don't know how it's for you. You are working in the companies, all these terms, ESG, OECD guidelines, etc. It's maybe quite complicated. And 17 goals, 169 targets. What the hell do I do as a company with this? And that was exactly my experience. It's quite simple. It's about responsibility. If I'm a manager, either a CEO or a C-suite manager or even a simple program and project manager in a larger or smaller company, it's about what is responsible business conduct. And the most important one is the aspect of the sustainability. And when we are speaking about sustainability, we mean the long term. Long term for a business, the first objective, you have to make profit, otherwise you're out of the market. So that came very clear during the COVID crisis. Companies who had only the reserves for 6 months, they are immediately out of the market. But that's not enough. The shareholder value just to create as much profit as possible is no longer the objective. And that really shifted in the last 20-25 years. So it's about this triple bottom line, economic, ecological, and social responsibility. And I have seen a big shift since 2015. When I started in 2015 in Switzerland, we had 14 paying members in our network. 14. We had some $30,000 of budget. Nothing. And then it was really about going around. We had some big companies who were already UN Global Compact participants. And now we see a strong and fast development. And Red has just said it. The investments have shifted dramatically during the last 3 years. The numbers have tripled and quadrupled. So we see there is a conscience changing. Don't ask me why. When I started in the 80s, I wrote my license thesis on the responsibility of the owner of companies and managers. My colleagues studying economics, they were laughing at me, and you philosophers and theologians, you do not understand anything about business. But we know today, and that's what changed, business without responsibility is no longer accepted. Legislations go in this direction, so we have to shift. Otherwise, we will be out of the market. And for you here in Ukraine, who want to export, who are in global supply chains, it's even becoming more and more important. And it's not that complicated. It needs just some common sense. You know what is responsible business, you feel it. And then we have all these ESG guidelines, we have the 10 principles, we have the GRI reporting frameworks, the OECD guidelines. These are all means to achieve that. But use your common sense and you will not be wrong.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your insights. And we do understand that it's all about responsible leadership. And we see that the members of the MCHAM, they paid a lot of attention for this. I see here companies, Visa, PepsiCo, Danone, and we see that how much efforts companies spend for this. Gentlemen, and the next question will be to both of you. How did the pandemic impacted business strategies in terms of reaching sustainability goals? Reid, what's your view on this? How do you see it across the Atlantic?
There's absolutely no doubt that the pandemic actually accelerated companies' interest in sustainability and heightened compliance, heightened focus overall. At S&P Global, which S&P Dow Jones Indices is part of, we operate what's called the Corporate Sustainability Assessment. And we saw a doubling of the number of companies from 1,000 to approximately 2,000 in just 2 years. And so there's no doubt that the pandemic really put a focus on this. And it was, of course, about companies operating sustainably, but also about companies performing well. Making sure that they were going to go through the pandemic in a way where they're going to retain their value as they went through turbulent, difficult times. So just more and more interest in sustainability generally.
Thank you. Antonio, how about European companies? What kind of trend do you observe in this regard, kind of pandemic influence?
I'm not sure whether it's only the pandemic, it's probably also the climate change. Because all and everyone now really realized it's there. And that creates a huge pressure on societies and with this also on companies. I think, and it's this combination of we are not secure, it's not normal that we can do normal business. The shutdown has shown the limits of our human power and how we abused also resources. I think it's a whole set of different things and also maybe this work organizations like UN Global Compact, World Business Council, universities, etc. have done. So I see there something is changing and it's changing faster and faster and that's positive. And what we also see, I went through your projects and I see a clear difference 3 years ago and today. As Tatiana Zakharuk already said at the beginning, in the first year, the projects were mainly do some social good. It had hardly to do anything with your core business. But it's not about just to give away a little bit of your profit you're making. It's about to really shape your whole business strategy, your whole value creation along the whole value chain, which is responsible and sustainable in economic, social, and ecological terms. And we'll come to a minute. I see a clear trend, and the demand and the requirements for US businesses, either transnationals like Coca-Cola, Roche, I don't know what, or as small and medium-sized companies here in Ukraine, in Europe, and even all around the globe, you will be more and more required to respond to these criteria. And the first runners are those who are the best positioned to occupy the USP, the unique selling point in the market. So use this opportunity. The faster you really align your strategies, your productions, your products and services, the better you're placed in these markets which shift fast. And the leverage comes from the investment, that's evident. And this is also shifting very, very fast.
Absolutely, like first mover advantage. And you, Antonio, just mentioned how it's important for large companies, medium and small. And what we see that companies, they really set very ambitious goals. They spend a lot of efforts to make sure that and to deliver and to show true leadership. But what else can be done on both national and international levels to get more stakeholders engaged and to support companies on their sustainability journey? Reid, what's your view on this?
So, well, first of all, forums like this are terrific. You know, I think that I really applaud Tatiana and her team, you know, in terms of setting up these great forums where education is provided and, you know, highlighting best practices. So this is helpful. You know, in terms of some very practical things, I think that those who are involved in sustainability around the world and say involved in investing, we could really simplify the reporting. Right now, there are many different reports, and I think if the companies in the audience probably really feel this, experience this, where there's lots of demands that are put on companies in terms of providing reporting. So I hope that as a community of businesses, those who are interested in standards, that we can come together and set standards in terms of reporting that would really simplify the process so that you don't have to have a large army of people dedicated to this reporting, but it can be a smaller team. There can be systems and processes in place that make it easy for everyone to you know, provide more information.
Thank you, Reed. So your like ingredients will be connection, education, and simplification. Antonio, how about your view on what else can be done to get more stakeholders engaged?
Well, the best thing to do is to be an example, and not only the companies but also the consumers, because companies will not produce services and goods which are not demanded. So the demand is very important, and the sensibilization of the consumers, but also business to business is very important. And what we can do, I don't like to tell others what they have to do. What can I do? So a very simple one is when I buy a car, when I build a house, when I go and buy food, do I ask how this is produced, whether there is child labor in it, slavery? What is the ecological footprint? What we can also do is to be aware of our footprint. There are apps today, etc., which are very helpful. So that's more on the personal level. On the business level, I think all those who are in charge of the companies, they really have to wake up. It sounds very nice, we are all waking up. Let's be clear and realistic. Even in Switzerland, sometimes you have really to kick people and wake them up. That's one side. But the more companies who are intrinsically from inside motivated to say, that is an option, that's an opportunity, and always say the Sustainable Development Goals, that's the biggest business opportunity of the 21st century, because you have an analysis of all the challenges of the global societies. And we as private sectors, we can give answers and develop really sustainable, innovative products and services which are serving communities, societies, by maintaining and reducing strongly our footprint. Because if we continue as we did in the last 250 years, nature will eliminate us. We will not eliminate the nature. So it's our business task to do that. And it's not that difficult. We would have the means, we have the technology, we have even the resources to do it. If we really join forces, if we exchange as here, and learn from each other, I think that's the most important one. Tell your stories, go out, be an example, and yeah, then spread out these ideas and connect with others who are in the main direction, and we will change the game.
Absolutely, and we have today a room of people that are responsible, and that, I bet that will show this leadership. Gentlemen, we have like 1 minute left, and I would like to ask you, let's talk a little bit about the future. For instance, if we meet in 3 or 5 years, what will be the key drivers between this performance and purpose connection, and whether you are optimistic with regard to short-term outcomes, speaking about responsibility? Antonio, please.
I'm convinced in 3-4 years, companies will have to report on their social and ecological impact. We will come to a triple-based bookkeeping, finance, ecology and social. All trends go in this direction. That's the first one. So companies who are prepared, they will be present. The demand of consumers will change. And last but not least, the threats will increase. That's also a reality. So we rather be adapted and prepared for that and do what we can, because we will not be the most vulnerable here, even not in Ukraine. The most vulnerable will be in the south, in the Near East, etc.
Thank you, Antonio. Reid, are you optimistic about short-term perspective?
I absolutely am, and I'll tell you one of the main reasons I am is because I spent a good amount of time reviewing some of the great projects that are happening in Ukraine. I was privileged to be part of the group of people that reviewed the great projects that were submitted to the UN Global Compact Office that were aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, and it just left me so very positive about what we can do in the near term, and just really inspired me personally. So thank you for letting me be part of that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dear ladies and gentlemen, on this positive and optimistic note, it's time to wrap up. Antonio, Reid, thank you very much for this opportunity and sharing with the community your experience and your knowledge. Dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. And I'm sure that with such audience responsible as we have in this room, our future is bright and sustainable. Enjoy the next discussion on partnership. And good luck, participants who are running for the award. Stay healthy, stay safe, and enjoy the next discussion. Thank you so much for your attention.
Yes, thank you very much, Tatiana. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, Reid. We're about to continue. Unfortunately, we're not going to have any breaks right now to have the opportunity for people to talk to one another. After the awards ceremony, we would like to ask you to stay with us, and we'll have lots of opportunities to talk to anyone who you would like to talk to in this room. But right now, I would like to invite the next speakers for the panel for the role of the partnership for the development of the economy. So right now, we would like to invite the business representatives, but we're still hoping to see the Vice Prime Minister on European integration, Olga Stefanishina. She was supposed to come to us at 16:45 because right now she has the meeting in the Cabinet of Ministries. So we do hope that she will be able to make it in time, but right now we're about to discuss the partnership in businesses, and I would like to invite our moderator, Olena Frolyak, the editor-in-chief of Fakty ICTV program, the host of the Fakty ICTV program. Please welcome Serhiy Kuzmenko, the financial director and the financial director at Interpipe. So please welcome him as well. Mikhailo Bubnov, the general director of Schneider Electrics. Vera Platonova, the Senior Vice Prime Minister and the Head of the Regional Development for Visa in Ukraine, Georgia and CIS in Southeastern Europe. And please welcome Dmytro Sakharuk, the CEO of D-Tac. So, please, Olena, the floor is yours. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. You know, when I came here today, when I have seen the whole room sitting of people, I will be honest with you, I was really glad, because in the media, everything that concerns the sustainable development is not that popular. When we are making the reports on the environment, on the problems of the sustainable development and the UN goals, I will be honest with you, we have a really downfall of our ratings. But we are restless. We understand that, but we never take that into our consideration. We understand that you can only save your life, yourself, and your planet, however this sounds. We still have to continue bringing up those topics. And I'm really happy that today we have the representatives of the big businesses, of the serious, responsible businesses, who are not just planning to do something, speaking about the sustainable development, but those who are already doing that, who are already making this impact, we can be proud of. You know, partnership is goal number 17 among the SDGs. If I would have been the Secretary General, I would put this goal at number 1, because with no partnership, with no collaboration, with no understanding, and with no established contacts, there's nothing we can do and nothing is possible. So partnership is very important. So today, we're about to have the representatives of the big businesses, and I'm really sure that they know what partnership is about, they know what successful partnership is about, and they definitely know what this means to collaborate with the state, with our state, with Ukraine, Ukraine. They know how to collaborate with their partners from the big businesses, what it means to collaborate with the civil society sectors. It would be very good if we would collaborate better with media. Don't be ashamed. Talk to us, tell us, give us some information. I'm always saying, why are you always silent about yourself? Do not be silent. Do not just meet in secret, but call us, tell us to ICTV, for example, to Olena Froliak. But let us start. And it's a great pleasure of mine to once again introduce you with our guest. We have Mikhailo Bubnov, the General Director of Schneider Electric Ukraine. We have Serhiy Kuzmenko, the Financial Director of Interpipe. Dmytro Sakharuk, we have met each other multiple times already, the CEO of D-Tac. And we have Vera Platonova, the Senior Vice President and the Head of the Regional Department of Visa, Ukraine, Georgia, CIS countries, and Southern and Eastern Europe. Good evening, or good day still yet. Great. So, Mikhailo, we will start with you. Because basically, your company that is more than 180 years already, it has been introduced all over the world and it has been working in Ukraine for 27 years already. And I just wanted to start with you and asking, how do you feel working with Ukraine? Working with Ukraine, how does it feel for you? Well, with our perfect country, it's really good to work. That's a very optimistic start. Thank you. Well, we have a lot of grounds for the optimism and for a lot of grounds for being optimistic. We have been working with Ukraine as a state for multiple years already. We are supplying Ukrenergo, we're supplying the data centers with multiple equipment that they are our own clients when we're speaking about their services or products provision. So from my side, I can say that it's quite good to work with the state when the state is your client. But we are working with the state from different roles as well. And in Schneider Electric, I don't know how my colleagues work, but in Schneider Electric, we have no problems with that. We have no problems with the fiscal office, with the customs. We never had any problems. And yesterday, we had some kind of a new rally happening, but I haven't seen any big reasons that would take us to that protest or to this rally. So I feel that we have a good time working with Ukraine. Okay, but speaking about your business partners, so how do you feel working with them? I would like to divide it into the government partners and our business partners, like Interpipe and D-Tac, for example, as working with private sector. This is our daily life. We're working with D-Tac, we're working with the other companies, and our partnering businesses with Yasno department from D-Tac. And basically, those stations for the electricity stations that we have, we're collaborating with Yasno in Kiev, for example. Is it partnership? Yes, partnership. With the Interpipe company, we also are partnering as well. We're providing them the equipment and technology that help them to save electricity, that are helping them to be more sustainable overall. Because Schneider Electric this year has taken the first place, the #1 position among the corporate businesses all over the world as the most sustainable company. Can you give us some really interesting, precise ways of your sustainable activities? Well, for example, we are the electricity and technical companies. We're not using coal, and our goal is the safe and reliable electricity and the provision for every person the access to that. Our goal is to provide that. Right now, the electricity is the most sustainable energy in our world. And we have, as the part of our DNA, we are, for example, wanting to be up till 2030 that all of the corporation, the Schneider Electric, is going to be using e-cars. We're not going to be using gasoline or diesel. Maybe we will be using hydrogen for our transportation, quite possibly. And even right now in Ukraine, we have started some of the projects on the generation of hydrogen. And in order to produce hydrogen and instead of the natural gas to be using to be using hydrogen for as a fuels. And this new green energy, because Schneider Electric has green logo as well. So we are doing this for our partners and for our market, both for the government, for the big businesses and for the private businesses. We have been working very successfully with the renewables energy, with D-Tac. We have been giving them the equipment as well, and we're working with the private sector as well. The small stations, the small electricity station up to 30 kilowatts, they are also working based on our solutions. What is the most important? That all together it is being covered with the digital element to that, with the digital clouds. We are offering the solutions that are not just the hardware, but we're also providing the digital solutions that give us the opportunity to be sustainable on this market. Okay, how do you say, what is the reception of your sustainable project in Kiev, in the regions, in Prikarpatia, for example, in the mountains? I don't know how they feel about that in the mountains, but basically our equipment is being used in every house. So for example, if you have this kind of a plug in your house, then you will see that, by the way, the plugs here are also by Schneider Electric. So we have our equipment in the mountains as well. But the biggest idea that we've had, and the biggest idea would be so that we will make our equipment and our soft and our services would be available for everyone, and so that we would help our state. If we are, for example, speaking about the state, to help our state to be more digital, we are supplying the data centers a lot. We are providing a lot of equipment for the businesses, for the data cities, and there is a very small challenge to that, is that at this very moment, our solutions, they require not only the supply, they also require the training of the people. The people should be trained of how to work with that as well. So that is why for multiple years we have been already collaborating with the universities. Last year and this year we have signed a memo with MedInvest Polytechnics. Our labs has now 28 universities that have already been working with us when we are teaching people, so that the level of the solutions that we offer to the Ukrainian market would be supported locally by the people, even if, for example, like you said, they live in the mountains. So it's not just about the supply. It's about, this is about the education mission as well, the education for every citizen in Ukraine. Even more, starting from 2018, we have opened a center that is called Training for the Trainers, where when we are teaching the people from the university so that they could teach their students later on. So this is the complex mission that we believe is ours. This is the one that we would like to cover in Ukraine as well. And I just wanted to say that at this very moment we are the biggest electricity company in Ukraine, and we are bigger than any competitor that we are, and we have the power to be not only business-oriented company, we have the power to keep it moving further on. We are considering our mission, we're considering our goals, and our main idea is so that this new technologies that we have all over the world would be brought up to every place, to every partner that we have, to D-Tac, Interpipe, MedInvest, so that we will be able to make the life of Ukraine and Ukrainians better. If we've been in a press conference, I would have asked you about that, because you've said that we have to provide our solutions. We're a very powerful, strong company. But basically, we would like to ask you, will we have the shortages of light this winter? The light? Well, if you're going to be using strictly our equipment, then it will only going to be turned off only when you would like to do that. Yes, thank you very much for your answers, and thank you very much for your intro. And I would like to switch to our next guest. Please welcome Sdg Kuzmenko, who is the Financial and Economical Director of Interpipe Ukraine. So, Sdg, it's a great pleasure for me to introduce you. Here I have been to Interpipe Steel plant, and I really would like to say that you don't have nothing nothing to be ashamed of for the green people, because basically you have invested for more than $1 billion for the construction of the really important and powerful ecological environmental enterprise that you can be proud of. And I know for sure that this big businesses as your business is, it definitely requires a lot of attention and a lot of partnership with the states. And I know that we have talked about that, for example, that right now you're negotiating with the government to provide the some limitation for the export of the metal leftovers. So how do you work with the state, and whether you like this partnership? Yes, I would like to say that we have some mixed feelings about our work with the environment, with the states. For example, we speak about the positive projects, and I could remind you about our joint work with COVID-19, against COVID-19. Last year, no one was ready for the pandemic to happen, and when we had these first negative signals in our state, we have participated actively. We have collaborated on the level of the state, on the national level, and on the regional levels as well. Our representatives have been the part of all of the regional centers and local centers for fighting COVID. We have invested into multiple foundations, and we have procured a lot of equipment that was needed for our regional hospitals. We provided the different types of individual protection. We have procured everything that was needed at this point. And I do believe that the moments that have really good with us was organizing the vaccination, because we have had this opportunity to provide the preventive note. We have been provided with the vaccines as well. We have very active in promoting the vaccination inside of the company as well. So right now, I might say we have almost 80% of people who have been vaccinated in our company. So this is a very good result, and I believe that it's a result of our joint efforts. Also wanted to add up a very important project that has been slightly connected to what Mikhailo has mentioned as well. There was an idea of promoting the geotechnical education in our region, and we're collaborating with our regional authorities very actively. So what are we doing about that? We have been investing money together with our city authorities. We're investing the money for the re-equipment of the labor offices in the schools, of providing the additional equipment for our kids, so that it will be more interesting for them to go into the engineering education. And we do hope that in a couple of years or in a decade, they're going to be choosing us and as their future place of work, as their future place of employment. So that's very interesting for us as well. So this is one of the projects that might be very interesting and effective for us. But unfortunately, not all of our collaboration with the state is effective, especially about some of the problematic issues that's a very important issue for us, is the promotion of our foreign policies. And as an exporter, we're really dependent on the different trade barriers that we currently face. And we face them in those countries that are our long-term partners, for example, as the members of the European Union or the US partners. And in this case, we can objectively mention the cases of the trade limitations that we've had for the so-called safeguards for the metal products for the U.S., that one that has been introduced in 2017, that has influences our opportunities seriously, not only for the Interpipe, but for all of the companies of the metallurgy of Ukraine to promote our products to the U.S. We have been limited, and we are limited still. In the last couple of years, 33 countries have already received some of the opportunities not to pay the safeguard due to different trade agreements with the U.S. Unfortunately, we're not in these numbers. Unfortunately, we're still limited due to those problems, and we cannot say that this experience have been successful. So, speaking about some long-term projects or the future projects to come, of course, we're all interested in the future of the Green Deal and the future of the upcoming tax that is definitely going to be influencing the 30% of the exports from Ukraine. Because basically, when we are speaking about the cross-border tax, then it's definitely going to change the overall structure of all of the processing sectors of Ukraine. So this situation definitely creates not only the new risks, but the new opportunities for us as well. And I'm sure that we're ready for that, and it creates additional grounds for us for the future collaboration. How should we get ready to that? What should we do? Everyone has their own tasks and everyone has their own ways of dealing with that. As the businesses, we should invest more and we should invest in new technologies more. We should invest the so-called ESG content, which is going to be important for us overall. And we have to make sure that we will decrease the CO2 emissions. The state should also have the long-term strategy that has to be dedicated to take down the risks for our industries and to improve our opportunities, what I've said before as well. But I do believe that we should not try to reinvent something or invent something new. We should consider what has already been done in the European Union and to use their system, for example, providing the quotas for the emissions. And we have to get out of the approach that we currently have. Yes, it's much easier, but it's much more motivating for the industry to decrease the emissions. I do believe that the emissions trade market is very important as well, and our state should prepare the legislative database, a legislative base that is going to help us to improve our positions in the future. And speaking about the short-term tasks for us, what we have seen right now, that we have seen the re-evaluation of the values and the resources that used to be not that important. You've mentioned the metal racks and understanding the some limitations. Working with the rack and the leftover materials and leftover metal is much more profitable because it will have less emissions. It will definitely influence overall how it's going to be happening in the world. For example, 2 days ago, that's basically that Russia has increased the taxes on the salvage already, on the steel products and the metals already almost twice, even though basically we have a very big exporters for that. And unfortunately, we have been exporting for more than 1.5 billion tons for the scrap iron. But we would really like to see, and scrap steel, we wanted to see the state to respond to that more actively. You have been working with more than 80 countries all over the world, and you're talking to your partners as well, and you might know how they respond to that. What do you think in their countries? This partnership between the state and the government and the big businesses is done in an easier way, or there are some of the challenges as well? Well, I don't know all of this undergrounds of this communication, but because we are facing some barriers and limitations at the all of the market, and especially this collaboration between businesses and state are important. So of course we understand it is there, but what I wanted to outline in this case, that the developed countries, they have the long-term vision of their economical interest in some of the sectors, and the states know how to influence the changes of the environment so that we would again improve the competition for those sectors. This is something that is making the big difference for the economical policies and the collaboration between businesses and state in the developed countries. Okay, another question, maybe question for everyone. What do you think? Whether our society, the big businesses, are we ready for those really serious challenges? And you're speaking about that in a very easy way, and we already know that we're facing that already. But you can see what is going on the people, what is getting on the lowest level. People, they don't want to sort their waste, and we're speaking about the decarbonization, we're speaking about the big businesses and challenges that we're currently facing in our economy. What do you think? Is our society ready? Did our society had already understood that there's no way back? And what should we do about that? The pace of change right now is much faster than we used to have before. Because basically, when I was a child, we didn't have a telephone in my place, at our home. But right now, we use a lot of phones. So we are changing, and the people are changing around us as well. So I see no doubts that as Ukrainians will be able to change as well. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So that was Serhiy Kuzmenko. Let us have a round of applause for him, the Inter Pipe Company. Okay, let us have the gender balance, because they will say that we're not really good. I would like to pass the floor to Vera Platonova, who is the Senior Vice President and the head of the Regional Department of Visa Ukraine in Georgia, in CIS countries, and the Southern Eastern Europe. As a citizen of Ukraine, Vera, I would really like to thank you first of all, so that you can pay with a card in Kyiv's metro with no problems with that, and that's really good. Basically, what we have heard and what we have seen, even with the help of your company, well, we have now seen that Ukraine are really good in the e-payments, the remote payments. What kind of a partnership case throughout this year that we are ending you would identify the most? Well, Ukrainians, they are very advanced in payments. They were always advanced in payments, I would say. And I would even say that they are pushing both the banks and us for additional innovation. And Ukraine is one of the world leaders right now on the introduction, for example, the contactless technologies and providing the payments. So the Google Pay, Apple Pay payments. I'm sure that each and every one of you will have the virtual card in your phone. If you do not have it yet, then you should have it, because that is a very good step, for sustainability as well, because plastics is bad. So you have to go digital. But still, the Visa company, for we're already more than 60 years old as a company, and throughout all of the 60 years, Visa has been the good collaborator with the states and with the governments in the direction of the social impact. And right now, we are now trying to focus on our main goal, and we are repositioning our brand. And our brand is now going to be more corresponding to our goals. And I'm sure that you will be seeing that our symbol has changed slightly. So now we're going to the equality sign, equality that we are aiming for, equality that we would like to reach in all of the possible scenarios. And Ukraine, we have been working with the government, and I'm sure that each and every one of you can now have DIA in your phone as well. So we have also got DIA to the most unimpacted channel that is connected to the central service of Visa that is going to be processing all of the transactions. So right now it is impossible that any of transaction wouldn't work if this transaction is connected to the state services or state payments. So everything that would be available in DIA. So we have been working with the Ministry of Infrastructure, and you can pay, for example, for your metro ride, but in multiple Ukrainian cities, you'll also be able to go and pay with your card in both the subsurface and the on-surface transportation. This is our joint project with Bank, with Privatbank, and with the government of Ukraine. So we have been working, and we've been talking about it a lot, and we have been working on those projects a lot, on getting our projects into the digital space, in about how we can teach people to pay online. And it has been especially important during the COVID-19 period, when everyone is sitting at home and a lot of people for the very first time in their life, they tried out how they can buy something from the internet. And they decided to try out the opportunity for the delivery options. I'm responsible for 17 markets, and Ukraine used to be ready for that. Even, the Balkans that we're responsible for as well in our department, the level of the financial literacy of the population, if we speak about how can you pay with your card online, is much lower than in Ukraine. The traders, they were not ready. We didn't have the delivery services provided, and we've had it. And this is the greatest achievement of the countries, of the paying companies and the government. Another big project that we've had, and I'm sure that you have heard about that as well, the project that is called She is Next. This is the program of the support for women, when we are supporting women entrepreneurs, when we are partnering with our state, we're partnering with Rosetka. We have partnered with the key banks of Ukraine for those projects, and we are having the competition, and we're choosing the potentially interesting entrepreneurs for us, women entrepreneurs for us, and we are helping them to develop their businesses right. And we're helping them to get outside of Ukraine, because Ukrainian businesses are really good, and we would like them to be seen in Europe and in neighboring countries as well. Okay. Vera, everyone is now paying everything with your phones. Sweden has already announced that in 2 or 3 years it will be a paperless, a money paperless country, cashless country. But how can you imagine this future of the digital payments in Ukraine? But it's here already. Yes, but it will stay with us tomorrow as well. And you know, the future is coming still as well. Yes, right now we're speaking about the 1,000 hryvnias that the government is going to be providing for the vaccination. I mean, it's also going to be done digitally. And we also believe that it's a very good if people would like to use this money for some kind of the cashless payments too. But let us see how it's going to happen, how it's going to be done, but we are hoping to do that. I do believe that the future is already here because in Ukraine, 70% of all of the operations done on the open, they're being done in the open, transparent transactions and accounts. 70% of people are paying contactless already, and not in cash. So what do we say that in 20 years maybe we won't have cash and paper money? Well, thank you very much. I do believe I really like that. Let us thank Vera Platonova from the Visa company. And the final person that we have left for us is Dmytro Sakharuk from the D-Tac company. Well, Dmytro, I would like to ask you about the decarbonization because your company is dealing with the energy sector and as we speak about the sustainable development, so how do you see this process of decarbonization, the decarbonization of energy? Well, you know that energy is one of the biggest producers of the CO2 emissions. That's almost 40% in Ukraine and all over the world. So that is why we have to deal with this on a daily basis because there's no other way how we can avoid it. So in Ukraine, we have the goals that have been presupposed by the energy strategies to have 70% of the renewables in the balance up till 2025, 25 up till 2030. But we believe that's not enough. It's not enough because the world has been changing so fast and the strategy that we have had is already not meeting our opportunities and our needs. And if we are going to have these ambitious goals that our state has taken on itself on decreasing the emissions by 65% since the level of 1990, that is this national impact, that is a reviewed commitment that has been much milder. And right now the Ukraine faces the really big tasks for ourselves. Even before the so-called the Green Deal has come up to us, we have started to work on those directions. I don't know whether you know that or no, but in year 2013 we have built the first wind station in Ukraine and the south of Ukraine for 200 megawatts. Long before people have started to speak about the green transition. I do remember how in 2013 at the board, and I was a part of this decision as well, we have made the decision of building the first wind plant. That has been a big investment by that time, and it wasn't really that profitable as some other investment might have been. We had voted for that, and we have voted with better reasons. We have voted for it with only prevalence of 2 votes. But we made this decision in 2013, and we have built this first power plant for 200 megawatts, and we were really right in doing so. Right now, we have already invested $1.8 billion in the construction of the solar and the wind plants. We already have 1 gigawatt of our installed capacities for those stations. We're building yet another plant for 500 megawatts in the south of Ukraine. So that is why the green energy, the decarbonization is the great part of our work. And I'm sure that we cannot be able to do that effectively without the partnerships that we have now been talking about. Because the partnership gives you the most important things. The partnership gives you knowledge, gives you the opportunity to enrich yourself. to educate yourself. Something that we do not have is available with our partners. We would like to build the electricity charging station, but we have no equipment to do that. We would like to dig up to the new level of collaboration with our clients. You can go through the contactless payments even. So we are asking our partners, Visa, to help us. If, for example, we will need a metal that we do not produce, or we will need some kind of very particular kind of metal, or if we'll need pipes, which is the most specific product, then we will turn to Interpipe. And all of our partners, all of our colleagues who are currently here, they are our partners. But it's not just about working with big businesses, because the big businesses, they can find the common grounds and they understand each other very good. But trying to think that you are able to collaborate with the small businesses as well. And you can work with startups even, the ones that are definitely different from the big businesses, and their culture of business conduct is a completely different task. For the last 3 years, we have already set out the program, and in the framework of our Innovation Directorate, we have launched the program to collaborate with startups. Those are completely different people who will be collaborating with startups. It's a different language, it's a different way how you collaborate with one another, those different approaches, less bureaucracy, more business, moving much more faster and having a better result. So that's basically, we are constantly working with 3,500 ideas in order to resolve all of our problems. And we're piloting a lot of ideas together with our partners. We're piloting the drones, the usage of the artificial intelligence, and the other things as well. And that gives a lot of results, a lot of good results for us and for the SMEs and startups as well, because a lot of startups, they become our first clients, so we give them the life. So sometimes the product that has been created together with our professionals. Like, people come to us with an idea and the idea is not ready yet, but we are getting it we're producing it to the ready-made product. We're becoming the first client, and this product has already been introduced to market after testings. That is a very good thing for us, because we have the whole ecosystems of partner that are due to our collaboration. They're creating themselves, they're growing themselves, they're growing their teams. And there are some businesses that started with us, they started as startups. They're being sold in the US, they're being sold for millions or dozens of millions of dollars. Even 2 years ago, it used to be just people from out of two. There was a company from two people, and one of them is an employee of D-Tac, and they've never been connected to the startup. But like 3 years afterwards, they can sell themselves for dozens of millions of dollars because they had a good idea that grown together with us. So we believe that this is the future for the all big businesses. We cannot say that the changes that we would like to see happening will be able to do them alone. Even if we will going to be moving as the big businesses farther on, we will still going to be moving slowly, slower than the small, agile and mobile teams that are able to do more than we can in some amount of time. Okay, Dmitro, maybe I will ask. Maybe that's not going to be the question for you, but we've had this video quite recently. Around 5 years ago, we only had 5,000 households that are using their private solar panels. Right now, we have 35,000 of those households like that. So people understood that the electricity is expensive, the electricity can be turned off, gas is expensive, so you have to deal with your own energy dependence. For you, as of a big energy company, maybe that's not a question for you, maybe that's a question to the government, but you're a big energy company. Have you considered this case of promoting green energy for those households, for example? Because, you know, there are some problems with the green fee tariff. There is a problem about installing those panels. That's still expensive. But do you consider this kind of case as a way of improving the green energy among the households as well, among the private sector? I will tell you more. We're not just considering this option. This is one of the direction of our businesses, actually. We have been setting out those panels. We are installing those panels in the roofs. And if, for example, in Ukraine, we can speak about the installed capacities, there's almost 1 gigawatt already. And if we speak about the power plants in the traditional format, those are the power plant with the 5 units. For example, that would be like Zaporizhia power thermal plant. So the full Zaporizhia thermal plant, it can be already installed on every roof in our country. Well, basically, if we would just say that we don't have this kind of demand or this kind of a fast stamp for development of this direction as it is in Europe or in the US. It was one reason, because we have a quite a low price for electricity. If you will calculate all of the investment that you need to make for the solar panels, and if you will then calculate the equipment that is needed for it to work, then it would be even better if you will have some batteries for some time at least to accumulate the energy, and if you will count the certification needs, then the basic return on investment will be 10 plus years. So there's not a lot of households that are ready to invest $5, $6, or $3,000 that they have for this 10 years return. So they have the alternative to put that on a deposit, and it will make them more money. But as the subsidies will decrease, the subsidies that are currently provided by the state for the electricity tariffs as well, and the tariffs are currently the lowest, not only in the post-Soviet space, but they're the lowest in Europe overall. So we understand that the attractiveness of those projects is going to increase. And right now, in the energy, we are being considering the projects that are basically returned on investments not longer than 5 years. So if we have the overall ROI in 5 years, then we will have the better increase of the main capacities of these private household capacities. Then it's going to be definitely going to be less expensive, and it will bring you independence, because for some time you'll be able to work autonomously. Plus, if we will switch to the e-cars, and theoretically, not just theoretically, but practically, you'll be able to charge yourself with the solar energy, and you will be able to decrease the anthropological footprint for the environment. So that is why the future is up to that. It's not just about installing the panels on the roofs, it's also about the heating pumps, the thermal pumps. There's going to be the combination to do that as well. There's going to be the big topic on the energy efficiency of the buildings. If, for example, we can put those 10 energy efficient solar panels, but if you had bad walls, if you had problems with your roofs or your walls, then you will lose this energy. So only in this combination, the energy efficiency, the heating pumps, the batteries, the solar panels, and the smart use of the energy, and if you have the thermoregulators or whatever, then you will be able to switch to almost autonomous use of electricity that is renewable. And I do believe that in 5 years, or even slightly later in Ukraine, but we will be able to say that the companies as ours, we will provide not just the electricity or gas supply or heating supply, we will provide you the service of a temperature for your building, or the comfort in your building. In what way we're going to do that, that will be our problem. Whether it's going to be lights, whether it's going to be gas, whether it's going to be electricity, or the combination of all of it. But the clients will pay not for the parts of it, but they will be able to pay for the general service. The clients will say, I just wanted to have 22 degrees as the temperature in my house. So please, during summer, give us some air conditioning and give us some heating during winter. There's something in the mid-season, something different, but I want to have the temperature of 22 degrees. I'm ready to pay for that. And that is what we're going to be paying for. And as the businesses, we should provide that. Because, with the Schneider Electrics, that has a tremendous part and tremendous experience in those systems, because they have been constructing those frameworks for building those systems. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this discussion. I do wish you all the best in the future partnership. I'm really grateful to all of our organizers, and I'm sure that with these representatives of businesses that we have seen today, we will succeed. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much for this very productive discussion. And as Kofi Annan has said in 1999, businesses are the main drivers for the progress. And we have seen that even when the state does not require certain actions from businesses, the businesses are deciding that they really want to do that, and they keep on moving our economy further on through the effective partnership. And right now we're about to start our award ceremony, our awards for the partnership. I would like to invite our operational director, Arina Konovalchenko. Irena, I would like to have you here by my side. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here today with all of us so that we would be able to congratulate the best, the conscious companies that are doing great deeds and who are not afraid to talk about that. I would like to remind you that the members of our independent international jury, and I would like to ask to show them to us. So we've had the General Director of the Global Compact of UN in Spain, Cristina Sanchez, Apur Gupta, the head of the CEO program in Accenture, UK, Rick Stedman, the participants of our first panel discussion and the representatives of the S&P office for the Dow Jones Indices, Albert Fahouri, the president of the Architecture Accreditation, CIAAD, and Vanessa Hans, the representatives of the Basel Institute, and of course Antonio Hatler, the one you have seen already, the head of the Global Compact UN from Switzerland and Liechtenstein. And I would like to ask you to thank our members, the members of our jury, for the choices they're made, and I would like to ask you to award the best. And I would like to invite Olena Frolak to our stage again. So she's the ambassador of our Planet Direction for the Global Compact UN. Olena has become our first ambassador this year. And in all of her news reports, she is raising the question of the environmental responsibility and highlighting this topic. So that is why she is the one who's awarding our participants in the Planet category. Okay, Olena, the floor is for you. So who are the finalists for us today and who we can call the winners? Okay, the finalists first. Okay, Wiser Globe, Turkey. So Wiser Globe is about providing the main points for genes with the minimum usage of the water and the minimal production of the leftovers. So today they're not here with us, but they are online with us. So all of the people who are here with us today and who are going to be awarded today, we would like to invite them to join us for his stage to make a memorable photo. The Auchan Ukraine, the product of their product bank, creating the food banks for the people in need who are helping to minimize the food leftovers for the Auchan shop. The representatives of Auchan, we have them for sure. So, okay, yes, please stay here with us for the photo. Well, congratulations. Our next finalist, Pantigrium, the Turkey, producing the clothes from the recycled materials. As far as I understand, Turkey is online with us today. Yes, they joined us online today. But let us give us a round of applause because they're definitely going to hear all of our good mentions here today. And INA Company, Croatia, the Green Belt projects that helps the local communities to implement the projects on environmental protection. Croatia is online with us, yes, sending the best greetings to Croatia. Next company comes from Croatia as well, Magic Forest, the O2 project, the project that is helping us to restore the forests in Croatia by selling the specific sets of seeds and trees. Croatia is here with us online as well. PepsiCo Turkey, still being online with us, sending the best greetings to you. Dogan Holding, Turkey, the Galatavay Energy Project that improves the promotion of the renewables and investing for the company that are producing that. I'm sorry. Yes, we have the representatives of PepsiCo Ukraine here with us. That was the PepsiCo Belarus project as well. Okay, sorry. So we're going to be inviting you here as well. So, can we just, because we have talked to our colleagues with Belarus, because they have been waiting for this award for the longer period of time, and they were waiting for this award. And PepsiCo Belarus, that is your award. This is your prize, that you've earned it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let us make a photo. Let's make a photo here, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay. Danong in Ukraine, their educational series One Planet, 11 steps for the improvement of the environmental situation for DIA, digital education, for increasing the awareness of the youngsters for the environmental protection. Congratulations. Congratulations to you. EPAM Ukraine, building aquaculture in EPAM UI. They're engaging the collaborators of the company for planting new trees and cleaning the waste. Please, congratulations, your award as well. Thank you very much. And congratulations to you. The Konchar, Croatia, the project on the climate change of the Konchar group that is raising the awareness of the employees and the shareholders of the company on sustainable development and on the usage of the energy-saving technology in the infrastructure of the company. Croatia is with us online, so congratulations to you. Dila Mark, the projects to live ecologically and live clean, raising the awareness of the green living and implementing the ecological projects. So congratulations to the Delamark group. Congratulations to you. The Artsinger law firm on the biodiversity preservation project, supporting the future environmental professionals, the field practice for the improvement of the students' skills on monitoring and depicting the animal and the plant world. We will pass them the award. Oh, we have the representatives of the Artsinger group. You know, it's really hard to get to the stage. Okay, congratulations to you. Congratulations, thank you. Pernodicard Ukraine, their projects, it's the game on the waste sorting, the trash hunter game that gives you the opportunity to sort your waste as a game. Congratulations. Thank you and congratulations. And the final finalist, the Can Development Public Center that creates the public center that will be the place for you to get closer to nature. Okay, we have two representatives here. Congratulations to you ladies. You had a very good project. Congratulations to you. So, okay. So sorry, we think we have lost another company in here. So we've spoken about the Dogen Holding, the Dagalavai Energy that is raising the awareness on the promotion of the renewables energy that they are developing as well. And as I understand, we have the winners. Yes, we have 3 winners, and they're all our winners. So the first would be Vodafone Turkey Waste to Cards project, collecting the electricity equipment, electrical equipment, and utilizing the electrical equipment from their partnering companies. So they're here with us online. They have to hear your round of applause, and they're here with us as well. The second victor is BASF company, the successful and safe utilization of the cans for the crop protection substances. Congratulations to BASF company. Thank you very much. And the third victor is the AE Solar from Georgia. The solar panels with the integrated chips for the near-field connection, the restoring the problems of the piracy in the electricity sector. We have the representatives of the committees. Gives the opportunity for you to check to verify the quality of the solar panels that you've procured with the NFC model. So this is a well-owned award. Congratulations to you. Congratulations. Thank you. The company is German, but the factory is in Georgia. Thank you very much for making this clarification. Okay, thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause to all of our winners. They are definitely well-earned victories. Thank you very much. Olena, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your support and thank you very much for your engagement because the task of every ambassador is to promote the Sustainable Development Goals together with us. And it's a greatest pleasure for us when our ambassadors are empowering us and making the topic of the sustainable development popular for all of the territory of Ukraine. So thank you very much. We're going to switch to our next category. So please, Alina, the floor is yours. Yes, the next category that we're going to be providing our awards is the peace category. And I would like to invite the Ukrainian singer, frontman, and the producer of the No Limits band. And by the way, that's a rock band that has the biggest amount of the concerts in Ukraine. I hope that you have heard their new album, The Free People. So please welcome Sdg Tanchinets. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sergei, for supporting us, and thank you very much for supporting this important initiative. Can you give us a hint who's going to be the finalists in this category? Who are the winners? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening. Okay, the finalists, PepsiCo products. The project is Follow the Smile. We're pleased to welcome you. They're finalists. Well, they have to hear us, basically, so we are really happy to welcome you as well and to congratulate you online. Another finalist, the InfoPulse Ukraine, the site for the Inclusive Hub project. So yes, we would like to invite the InfoPulse representatives. Their project was the website for the Inclusive Hub that helps us to implement the initiatives of youngsters with disability and also for the people graduating from the orphanages and the board schools. So thank you very much for this very important project. Foxtrot, the furry friends for every home. Would like to invite the representatives of Foxtrot company. Yes, please, your nomination award. Stay with us here for the photo. So, the furry friends to every home that promotes the good treatment of animals, and they promote the adoption for the animals from the shelters. The non-governmental organization DocuDice UA, the advocating campaigns Docu Clubs for the support of the reforms in Ukraine. Congratulations, you. So this project that promotes the level of how the community can influence the decision-making locally, and this also improves the collaboration between the amalgamated communities and governments. Starlight Media, the showrunners of equality, creating the systems for the development and diversity. Congratulations to you as well. The project that has been dedicated to promote gender equality, the promotion of the rights of LGBT+ community and people with disabilities. Congratulating the Starlight Media with this great important impact for the development of our society. And we're getting to our winners. Okay, let us now decide let us now announce who's going to be the winners for the peace category. The first winner is the Metro Cash and Carry Ukraine, the project for the benefits of the planet. Congratulations to you. So the project that is the PET plastics for recycling and you taking the worn clothes for additional second-hand use. MTS Belarus, the project against bullying-free internet. Congratulations to you. That's an important project that also promotes the information on the cyberbullying problems and gives us the opportunities to resolve the problematic situations in the internet. And the final winner, the Kaljuan Hrvatska, the project for the fruits and vegetables bank from Kaufland. We welcome you online and congratulate you online. The project that raises awareness of the good nutrition for the health of children. That's an important topic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sergey. Yes, thank you. Have a nice evening, all of you. Thank you. Yes, okay. We have also said that the Vice Prime Minister is going to join us, and we hope that she's going to come to us. I don't know whether we already have started the next category that we're ready to give awards to. Alina, are we ready to start? While we are still trying to figure that out, I would like to mention that this year we have limited the numbers of the companies that can apply only by the ones who are the partners of the Global Compact of UN. If before that we have allowed the participation in our competition for all of the companies, then right now we have understood that we're not ready to process and we're not able to process this amount of the applications that we have. So we've got limited only to those companies who have already showed their sustainable development in the framework of the Sustainable Development Goal of the Global Compact, and among those companies and countries that participate in the Global Compact. And we're happy that the amount of this project increases year to year. And it's just because of you, the people who are the leaders of their companies, the people who are promoting their activities in their companies, inspiring their colleagues to do those good deeds and to implement those projects. Let us have a round of applause to each and every one of us for those things that we do, for us for making that possible. So, okay, I think that I would like to invite the Vice Prime Minister on European and Euro-Atlantic integration of Ukraine. Please welcome Olga Stefanishina for the brief intro and for the brief speech, and I hope that we'll be able to talk a little bit about the partnership topic and what way the state and the businesses are able to communicate with one another so that we would reach the economical development of our country. It is something that we really lack. We really lack this high quality dialogue, and I do hope that with the help of our projects and our independent platform will be able to do that possible, to make that the state to be proud of our businesses, and the state would empower the businesses and support it economically. This year we have been to the Expo 2020 to Dubai, and we have seen how more than 800 countries have been participating in that, and how the other countries are being proud of their businesses, how they're promoting it. And my big desire in this case would be that the Ukrainian government would have supported our business as well, would have shown our startups, our achievements that are being building our activities according to the Sustainable Development Goals, how we are making those millions and billions of dollars by selling our ideas abroad. We would really like to see those companies working here with us, and so that the state would have supported them. Okay, couple of technical moments, and I hope that we will be able to continue soon. I would also like to talk about another topic, about the issues of the gender equality. If you have maybe noticed today, when we have been speaking about the achievements of Ukrainian businesses and when we have invited the leaders of Ukrainian businesses, you might have seen that most of them are still men. 2 years ago, we have joined the Target Gender Equality Program, the one that is targeted to covering the main issues, that says that the company's board should have at least 30% of women represented in the board. Why we have decided to promote this idea further on? Because when we have reshaped our board and when we have decided that we will create the board only with the top management of the businesses and functions, and we have seen the top profiles of our managers, we've understood that 100% of them at that point of time were men. I am really proud that maybe due to our initiatives, or maybe with the support of the ecosystems on promoting gender equality, right now we have seen the improvement. We have seen the women who are managing the companies and managing the state. So I would like to invite Olga Stefanishina, the Vice Prime Minister on European and Euro-Atlantic integration of Ukraine, for her speech. Olga, thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you very much for finding this opportunity to come to us today. I know how hard it is right now to work in the government, how many important questions are currently being resolved in the state. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for having this opportunity to join this business initiative, because it definitely shows that the state trusts the businesses, wants to work with the businesses, and has to work with the businesses. I would like to pass the floor to you. Yes, it works, but you have to make sure. Yes, it works. Yes, great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And, basically, I think it's not the first meeting from my side with the businesses, because I also coordinate the green transition issues in the government and the collaboration with the European Union in the framework of the Green Deal. When I've joined the government, I thought that those are very politicized issues. There's going to be the big political dialogues on the high level. It is like that, actually, but along the first months of my work in 2020, I have already understood that, first of all, environmental issues and the climate change are about the new economy at this very point. So basically, for this year and a half, we are fighting against the European Union and fighting together with the European Union so that this bright environmental initiatives, they would not stop our free trade zone and our collaboration with the European Union. Except for the ambitious goals on decrease in the emissions, the European Union also offers additional technical regulation, additional fiscal taxes that are basically threatening at least 30% of all of the exports from Ukraine to European Union. And I just wanted to say that it's a very successful process overall for us. Yesterday we had these negotiations with the European Commission and Ukraine together with Turkey and a very small circle of countries that are not the members of the European Union yet. We now have become the part of the group that will have a special regime of the regulations that to be used. So we are an exception already because we had a very ambitious goal and because we are already having the very good level of the compatibility of the European policies and Ukrainian policies in transport and competition. So we have already been clear and understandable for the European markets. But why do we have those meetings with the European businesses? Because we have already the decarbonization strategies, and the biggest part of their activities is also export-oriented. So that is quite clear. There's dialogue with the Ukrainian countries in the different sectors, from the cement, from the services, and the supply of different goods that is given up the opportunities to have some good outcomes. First of all, we have to promote the sustainable treatment for the development of your businesses and responsible treatment of your business development. The green transformation is not just an interesting approach that you should consider. It's a pragmatic approach that you have to use, because those changes about the environmental policies and about the access to any additional finance is about following the certain environmental criteria. So that is very important as well, and it is very important for the pragmatic businesses that are oriented for the external markets, or they're planning to engage the additional investment into their activities. One of the high priority tasks for us, the one that I'm closing my year with, is the creation of the platform for the financial institutions that will finance this green transition for the private sector. They will be financing it in the different sectors and different ways. In 2 weeks, our president is going to be in Brussels. We're going to have the Eastern Partnership Summit. We will then announce 5 flagship initiatives to support the SMEs in the framework of the green transition. We will provide the additional financial support for the Energy Efficient Foundation. That also includes the introduction of the energy efficient technologies in the enterprises. And we will announce the big program for the support of the small and medium agriculture natural process that is the result of our Green Deal dialogue. And we have to understand that this access to this finance will only have the opportunities they will also work with accordingly to the highest environmental technologies, or who are already export oriented according to European standards. So that is why I do believe that is going to be a very important element from what the government does. And I'm really grateful to the team that is currently organizing this event, and I'm really grateful to the businesses that I have seen a lot of here today. And I'm really surprised that you are really interested in this topic, that you're conscious and responsible. And I have heard a lot that in the framework of this event you have discussed the issues on the development of very precise business direction. I'm ready for a deeper discussion. We already have seen some of the awards provided already. That is a great thing and important thing for us as well. And I do hope that I'm going to have a lot of questions and a lot of offers from you. We have a team, the Office of Vice Prime Minister, and this is information that is public on the Facebook and on the sites. So I will be really grateful about your offers if you are ready to use additional financial support, and that's very important. And I think it's a unique situation when the government asks the businesses to provide the additional offers on the projects, because right now we have available resources, and right now we are only using 17% of all of the money available for Ukraine for both private and public sectors. We're only doing that because it's very rare for us, as for the state companies and as for the private businesses and state structures, we don't have the opportunity to build up the high quality vision. So we have the opportunities, but we're looking for your offers, and we'll be really grateful if you will address us officially or unofficially through social media. Thank you very much. Thank you, the organizer. Thank you very much for this invitation. Yes, thank you, Vice Prime Minister. Thank you very much for joining us right now. We will still need 5-10 more minutes from your time, because I really would like to ask the people who wanted to ask you some questions were able to do that. I have a question myself, because you have just returned from the COP26 from Glasgow, and you have discussed the opportunities of the new Green Deal for Ukraine. And we have voiced out those numbers as well, that the developed countries should invest $100 billion for the developing countries in the framework of the new Green Deal. What does that mean for Ukraine? Have we gained this right? Are those 10,000 companies that you mentioned, are they the part of this program as well? Can you give us a little bit more on that? You know, that has been a very interesting experience, because when for the very first time we had the head of the delegation, who's not the main minister responsible for that. I'm coordinating all of the ministries in those directions, and I'm dealing with those questions from the political point of view. And it was a very interesting discussion for this summit, because we had two really different realities to that. The first reality was that the developed countries, they've asked one another to mobilize in 5 years all of this 100 billion for a year. It didn't happen. Didn't happen at this COP. It didn't happen, and I'm sure that is not going to be happening at the next climate summit. But the developed countries have asked the developed countries to complete their obligations sooner, and they've used this argument as the argument so that it's not just ambitious enough for us to complete the Paris Agreement. That was the formal reality, and the informal reality was that basically before the Glasgow COP26 and at the Glasgow COP26 we had some package agreement that have been provided. For example, we have signed the big memo on the Southern African Republic for almost 8.5 billion euro for the implementation of the strategy of the coal phase out. That was the package agreement between the US, the UK, the European Union. The very same package agreement has been conducted with Turkey, about Turkey as well, with a smaller amount of money. And we closed our work on COPE. That's we have started to build up the same agreements and negotiations for Ukraine as well. So the main trends were about the individual agreements between the countries on this targeted financial support for the specific directions. I think that next week the technical delegation was going to go to the UK. We're going to start those negotiations, and at the very beginning of February, we're going to have the same negotiations with the European Union. So the main trend is to build up the individual agreements and treaties. And understanding that the Convention UN mechanisms are quite broad, just for you to understand, throughout this day, we have more than 30,000 people participating in the COP26. That's about all of the participants of the conference. So That is why we have concentrated on some main issues. We would like to choose the strategically important partners for us, and we have joined a couple of the initiatives that are uniting, for example, the Lead IT initiative, the initiative that is joining the greenest European countries and the biggest polluters, for example, as India is, and they're combining the efforts of the private companies and the public companies. For example, the cement giants of India and the most progressive green technology of Switzerland. And Ukraine has been invited to this initiative. We've joined this initiative as well, and I know that the businesses that have been present there, they have already voiced of their desire to join those initiatives as well. So this is a joint investment platform, the platform for the free of charge exchange of technologies. And if you're interested, you can join this initiative as well. The companies are free to join. And we are preparing the individual decarbonization roadmaps and the investment roadmaps as well. So that is why we have decided to join separate initiatives and start negotiating with the individual partners on this program, because we're not the European Union country yet, we're not the NATO country yet, and we understand that we cannot afford ourselves to plan some big results in 10 or 15 years' time. We really need to have everything here and now, so those were the priorities that we have identified for ourselves during the COP26. Okay, do we have the questions from the audience? Does anyone want to use this opportunity to pass the floor, to pass the question to the Vice Prime Minister? Yes, please, we would like to pass you the mic. Good afternoon. I will just get into a little bit just for you to see me. Okay, I can see you. So my name is Dmytro Kravchuk, and I am the head of the Forest Initiatives and Society NGO, and I would like to have this opportunity to be here in one room with you. I would like to have a question from some different point of view on the topic that we have been discussing, maybe the different side of the coin. You might not know, but today we have published the information that's around 50 NGOs in Ukraine, the one that is responsible for the environmental issues, who are working on the protection of the environment. They have published this information that right now we have seen the certain pressure for the environmental activists from the state, that they have been told, they have been called different names, and they have been called eco-terrorism, and the representatives of the businesses, they are treating quite aggressively those people who are responsible for the environmental protection. For you, as the representative of the government, are you ready to deal with those issues that are sometimes about the lives of the people? Are you ready to implement that to the government, and to promote those issues on the importance of the human life and people's protections, especially if they are the activists? Are you ready to support that? Thank you very much. We have seen those cases in the government many times. We have seen those situations when both ecological, environmental, and economical policies there are interconnected. And basically, when I've started my speech, I've said that the environmental protection is the new economy. So we will see this kind of pressure and tension more and more. But I'm sure that all of the businesses that are present here today, the conscious businesses, pragmatic businesses, they are going to get to this understanding. When we have made this decision to cut down our emissions by 30% from the level of 1990, there has been a very big pressure from the business side. They were not ready, they were incapable of doing that. But they have supported the initiative of the government, because we are in full agreement with small, big, and middle businesses, and you can find this consensus altogether. I'm speaking about the macro policies. On the level of the persecution of some certain eco-activists, I haven't seen that as a systematic problem, but if we have these issues there, so please address the certain law enforcement institutions, for they have to investigate that. I will just add up to that. We have been collaborating with the businesses a lot, and we have seen how they have been very negative towards the civil sector. Right now, only in Kiev, we have seen more than 3,000 NGOs registers, and sometimes those are the people who really want to earn the money for that. And that's really makes the reputation of the other organizations who are really working on improving our lives also suffer. I know that a lot of businesses are asking us for the recommendations of the NGOs, and we have some of the organizations, less than 20 organizations that we can actually recommend for the business work as well. So you have to follow your reputation, and you have to show the businesses what kind of value you can give them. Consult and through consultation, through business value, or through joint projects. Thank you. Do we have any representatives of the businesses who would like to ask their questions to the Vice Prime Minister? Good day, my name is Janina Yankovska, the Bank and BNP Paribas. We have been working about the sectoral policies that are targeting the human life protection and for the environmental protection as well. And it is very important for us to have the support of the government, because we have certain support, we have certain evaluations as well, but it's really hard for us when we're talking to the businesses. It's hard for us to say, for example, why we are denying the businesses in loans when they have the big CO2 emissions, or when we are restricting our collaboration due to the pesticides leakage, or, for example, when the pesticides are used in the agricultural business conduct. So maybe next year we will have some laws connected to that, some regulators about that. What do you plan with that? Thank you. Thank you very much for this question. That's quite reasonable question, because just last Friday I had the meeting with the head of the National Bank, and we have been discussing the financial management in the framework of the green transformation and green transition. And National Bank, by that Thursday, has approved the strategy of the green transformation for the banking sector, and that's the sustainable development for the banking sector, that presuppose a lot of tools that might be used up till 2024. They will be of a recommendational character to 2024, but after 2024 they will be obligatory for the banking sector. That's about speaking the legislative regulators and the development of the sector. That's definitely a good tool. We are studying this tool as well, and we're going to be using that. In the same time, we are having the negotiations with the international financial institutions. We're speaking about the European Investment Bank and the European Bank for the Reconstruction and Development. We had last week, we had the big delegation coming to Ukraine, and we have been talking about that, and we have said that in 2 weeks we will implement the big program on the big guarantees for the countries of the Eastern Europe, and the 7 billion euro will be dedicated to Ukraine. And we do believe that one of the priority directions for the usage of this money and allocation of this money is going to be the provision for the financial support for the Ukrainian banks, so that you would be able to support the Ukrainian SMEs that has the conscious treatment about the development of their business processes. In a week, we're about to have those going to be having the additional round of negotiations based on the technical negotiations that we've had, and I am sure that there's going to be an additional stimulant that Ukrainian banks are going to use for stimulating the green transition of the Ukrainian businesses. So do follow the dynamics of our dialogue with these two institutions, and I am sure that by the end of the next year we will be able to have the really clear mapping and a clear understanding what is the amount of resources we can use. Thank you very much. I am already informed that we have to let you go to do the state business. So thank you very much. On behalf of all of our community, thank you very much for joining us here. Thank you very much. We are really sure that the state can hear us, and they're ready to help. And I do hope that together we'll be able to build a sustainable future for our country. Thank you. Thank you very much. I am really serious when I'm saying that without you, there's nothing that we can do, because without the real offers from the businesses, without the real impact from the businesses, our strategies are just strategies on paper. They have to be fitted to the reality. And I wanted to also say that last year we had the big dialogue on updating the association agreement, and right now these negotiations and negotiatory positions of Ukraine, they're only being based at the positions of Ukrainian businesses. In the context of the green transformation, your demand has the key impact for us. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so we're continuing our continuing our awards ceremony, we still have 2 more categories to go. Those were the companies that have provided their cases and have become the finalists and the winners of those categories. And I would like to invite Alina back again here and to introduce us with the next category of the winners and the finalists, the people who are important to our society, the people who are going to help us to provide the awards for our finalists and winners. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tatiana. Thank you very much for staying with us. And it's high time for us to announce the people category winners and finalists. So that is why I would like to invite the well-known Ukrainian singer, composer, and influencer of our now community. Please welcome Христина Solovey. Christina has a very important social position, so that is why she's going to be providing the awards for the best company in the people direction. So Christina, please, the floor is yours. Who are the finalists this year? Okay, well, I would like to first of all to congratulate everyone who's here today, and would like to thank you for being with, thank you for as a businesses for helping the groups of people, and that's important for me. I'm doing that with culture and music from my side, and I am always hoping that when I have more opportunities for myself, then I will be able, for example, to open an animal shelter in Ukraine if I have this opportunity. So our finalists here are Primus Inter Paris School, the Children Ambassadors for Global Goals project. Congratulations to you. The Matinvest Group, the STEM camp for the program of the leadership for teachers to improve the quality of the STEM education's teaching in Ukrainian schools. We would just like to invite our next finalist, please. Yes, the Matinvest company is here with us. Good, thank you. Congratulations to you. SoftServe, the project of the crowdsourcing platform, the open tech platform that unites the volunteers and company for the joint work for the social project. Do we have representatives of SoftServe? Congratulations. Croatian Telecom, Hrvatski Telecom, All Generations Together, the national program on the digital literacy for the third generation. That's a very relevant issue. Yes, Hrvatski Telecom is right now joining us online, so we are sending you the finest of greetings, and we will then pass you with your award. Thank you very much for your case. Tegeta Motors from Georgia, the project on genderless profession, the project that has been created for the education and the employment of women of the stereotypical non-traditional professions for women. The online, we're sending greetings and congratulations to this company online. Yes, good. So let us get to the new company, the Ukrainian Investment and Trade Facilitation Center. The project of the Women Business Days, the project that has provided the opportunity for women to improve their skills in business management. Congratulations. Aqua Law Firm. Aqua Law Firm, Aqua Friends is the online internship for the legal students to improve their skills, qualities, and the competitive capacities in the labor market. So very serious, ladies. Interpipe, project Dnipro cities of the mechatronic cities in promotion of the engineering work by creating high-quality education on mechatronic for Dnipro city. We will definitely pass the word to the Interpipe representatives. Anadolu Anonim Turk Sigorta Shikarti, the project of the online training on insurance to raise the awareness among women entrepreneurs. Really important projects, and yes, we do hope that the representatives of this company are now watching us online. So we had a round of applause for you. Intelia's company, the project of the eco mobility, the project that is aiming to promote the usage of the bicycles in the cities and to increase the safety of the bicycle riders on the roads. Congratulations. Alliance Turkey, the project on the movement to going through Alliance, a 16-week programs of physical activity. Throughout these programs, the participants, they do sports and learn to provide the first aid. Our congratulations sending from Ukraine to Turkey. Yeah, I hope they're watching us. They're definitely watching us today. We will definitely pass you the award. The next finalist for us was Yavuz Chehra Textile, the project to speak with hands that gives the opportunity for the employees of the company with disability to integrate into the work with other employees. So we're providing the training for the sign language. Our congratulations to them as well. TBPR, Turkey, the Turkey Bank for the Industrial Development. Again, Turkey Project Women, the Stars of Tomorrow. So the project for the support of the young female musician provides the financial and moral support for women in culture and arts sector and also draws attention to gender inequality in those sectors. Your round of applause as well. Yes, they also are with us online, so we continue. Now, everyone is online. Yes. The next finalist is the Capital Ukraine, the project on educational center for Capital Ukraine that train their employees and clients to use the product of the company. Beetroot Academy, the Wings project engaging women to grow and to improve economical safety. The basics IT course on digital literacy for women. Eternalo, the scholarship project for the legal triathlon, providing the internship for the lawyer students that have won the competition. For the internship, during the internship, the scholarship is paid for the participants. We only have the 3 finalists to announce, and then we will have the winners announced as well. The next finalist for us would be the MHP group, the project of the films on the open air, showing the films in the open air for the small cities and towns. Yeah, I just wanted to see how the person who's responsible for this kind of a great initiative to show films in open air. Carlsberg, Ukraine. Carlsberg, Ukraine, the project on the International Day of the Conscious Consuming of Beer, like say now, 18 plus, for the raising the culture of the responsible drinking among the youth. And finally, while closing the list of the finalists today, the Smarter Company, the working space with no discrimination, the legal roundtables and workshops for women with the representatives of the local authorities and governmental authorities to fight against the gender stereotypes in the workspace and to decrease the payment gap between men and women. Those are very important people here. So this is an honor for me to give you the awards today. Okay, great. So we can now get to announce our winners. So this is the high time for us to announce the winner. I think that we should give a little bit of intrigue right now, provide a bit of suspense for all of you as has been done in different competitions. But, okay, I'm slightly surprised. Okay, I'm not going to be torturing you. So, Takia Holding, the project get better soon. The provisions of the children's hospitals with the modern equipment and providing the medicines for the oncological ill people. So, the winners of today are as well for Bank, the project to see the invisible, for the support of children with the vision impairment. And to close the list of the winners for today in the people category, that's an unexpected thing, the Osvitoria NGO, the project for the all Ukrainian school online for the improvement of the remote education in schools through the video classes and video lessons. Thank you very much for this award, and it's a great pleasure for us, for Vitoria, to work in education is about changing our country for better. And the Old Ukrainian Online School is a very good way of synergy, because when you're doing something with love for 100,000 of Ukrainian teachers and students, that definitely works for the best. Thank you very much. And thank you. And I would like to see you soon and have a nice evening today. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Hristana. Thank you very much for joining our projects. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for all of our businesses for implementing those important cases all together. And soon we're going to have the third category for the prosperity and the economical development category. Soon we'll have it as well. But while we're still waiting for our special guest star, who's going to help us to give the awards to our finalists and to the winners of the prosperity categories, let us talk a little bit to each other. So what are the expectations that you have for the year to come? What do you expect for 2022? What the companies that you are working with and you own are planning to do? Is there something that you would like to share with us? If there's something that you would like to inspire us all, so that's everyone who would like to join these social initiatives, not to create some kind of obstacles for the business conduct, but to join the work with the businesses and to implement it together. Do you have people who would like to join me here on this stage to talk to me as well? Okay, businesses is about, yes, please. Yes, thank you, Tatiana. Bank again. So I would like to share a little bit about our plans as well for 2022. Well, first of all, I wanted to say that we are planning to launch a very powerful campaign, and we really would like to have this powerful campaign up till 2025 that is going to be called "Let Us Create Future Together," or "Let's Make Positive Impact Together." And we're going to have four main directions. Main direction is creating products for all of these client segments, in the ecological direction, the social development direction, and for the governance as well. So we're going to be covering all of the three ESG directions. So the second direction would be the one that we are hoping to use as much as possible. We're trying to get more teams and more businesses working on another direction, the direction that is targeted on decreasing the CO2 emissions Starting from 2012, we have already been measuring our emissions, and we would like to launch a couple of the programs, a couple of the calculators that are going to be counting the CO2 emissions of the smaller enterprises, and they're going to be calculating the emissions that we have as physical people, as financial people. The third direction was the co-working direction, the co-working partnership with together with Tatiana's team, together with the social inclusion team, for us to create this kind of platforms for joint communication. And the fourth, very important, and I'm sure that is definitely going to be increasing the awareness of everyone. And we're going to be able to raise the awareness on the sustainable development, because unfortunately not all of our people are not really aware of this question, which is very important. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing. So I think that I would like to share of something that we have planned for the next year as well. Maybe you have noticed that we are only being engaged with green initiatives when our partners are doing something as well. But we do understand that we have to do something on our own as well, and we have to get all of you engaged to resolve all of those problems in our country as well. So starting from the next year, we're going to be joining our global initiative 1.5 degree that is targeted on saying that the business should not influence the environment in a way to increase the temperature higher than 1.5 degrees. We're going to be offering our businesses to join that as well, to use additional calculators to identify the goals, to verify the goals, and to report on in what way the goals have been implemented in your companies, in what way you are influencing those goals that Ukraine has identified for its implementation. Because last year, in year 2020, Ukraine has reported on the SDG progress for the first time and in the international platform. But unfortunately, the overall indicators, the state indicators, were quite low. So that is why it is very important for us to get the business engaged with those initiatives. So Ukraine as state would be able to show its achievements at the international level, and for us to communicate that we really are the leaders, and we're definitely working with all of the other European countries as well to reach those goals or to prevent those negative climate change. So please do follow our footsteps and follow our notifications. We're going to be informing in what way and when we're going to be having the companies to these initiatives, what it is about we're going to be doing together, how we will reach those goals together. And I do hope that we will be able to join all of our businesses together with this platform, and to additionally use some others than we haven't known. And we have all seen that we have all been working with that gender equality topics, but for the next year we have decided not to just get limited with the women rights, because we have seen that the men rights as well, there need some help. Sometimes the companies, they say that everything is okay with gender equality. We have 80% of women in our companies. And the question is that equality then? So is that equality then if you have only 20% of men in your company? So that is why we have decided to join the program on the protecting human rights. That is going to be including the gender equality as well. That is going to is going to be working on gender equality and some other issues that we will be able to talk about, and we will be able to see in what way the businesses can take those international norms into life in order to show it in the criteria of ESG, when G stands for governance. We'll be able to show how we can reach the best results. So please do follow our notifications. Yes, I think that we're going to be those influencers today who are welcoming and congratulating the the real good businesses who are given the main trends. And I will pass the floor on behalf of Andriy Onistrat. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to join us today. He sends the best greetings to the responsible businesses, and he says that the next ceremony he's definitely going to be with us. Okay, Antonio, can you help us then?
Be our start for economic development. Greet our finalists and winners. Thank you. Тоді я
So, okay, then I will start then. Our finalists in the prosperity category are the Nova Poshta company, their cool new post project that was the training for the student about the peculiarities of the teamwork in order to get them adapted for the working conditions in the modern world. Thank you. The next finalist is Ukrenergo, the Good Neighbor project, the project for the community development, the one that has the objects of the company located at and organizing the educational activities for the youth and for the adults. I think it's always the best when the state-owned company has the opportunity to invest not only into technologies but also for the society and the community that's always there, just as your enterprise's side. So we're a good neighbor, so don't join our initiative as well. Thank you very much. And I would like to remind you that Ukrenergo has become the first state-owned company that has joined the Global Compact of the UN. And after that, after their leadership, we have been joined by many more companies. The Naftogaz Group, the state-owned company, their educational project for the energy of development. The main goal of this project is to have the educational amendment on the management and leadership and providing the grants for the most prospective participants of the grants. A very small and very sincere company. The Sewing School, Taylor's School, their educational project, UA Heritage, that one that is directed on promoting promoting the Ukrainian embroidery through providing the online museum and workshops. A very beautiful and creative team. Ajarabat, Georgia, the project on creating a platform for the corporate social responsibility, where the companies are able to find their partners and to implement the sustainable projects. Hello, if you're watching us, we're congratulating you. The Apple Consulting with the project Critical Thinking and Limitation Theory with No Limits. They are promoting the relevant knowledge on business conduct with the help of the free courses at Prometheus platform. I would also like to say that we have a lot of companies that have been working for the economical development of our countries. The next company is the company Zesmam on the project of the reconstruction of the avant-garde amalgamated community. They would like to restore the stadium in avant-garde community. The next company, there's Vodafone Ukraine, the project of Find and Fly village roads, the project that builds the safe routes for green tourism. the agricultural holding Astata Kiev. The project of the social responsible businesses and international support as the main driver for the decentralization in Ukraine, creating the joint success stories. Smart impulses for the communities that are supporting the development of Volochinsk community. Ernst and Young, the project of the master's program for dual education for business consulting with the National University named after Taras Shevchenko, they are providing the opportunity for the students to have the skills that are needed for the contemporary labor markets. The Georgian company and the company that is here with us today, the FINA company, the project for the Biz Studio, the business analytics studio that provides you the business analytics services and the automated report making for the businesses. The Addison Tech from Georgia as well, Stamisam Box project, the educational program for children starting from 6 years old that gives you the opportunity to learn the STEM for the STEM education. We'll pass the floor. Thank you very much and congratulating you for the awards. And yes, we would like to go to the winners in the category for the economical growth and prosperity. And the first company that I would like to invite for that, please welcome the D-Tac, the community with your own hands projects, that the open competition for the grants for the implementation of the communal initiatives. That is something that the speaker has said before. When the company provides the opportunities, when the company becomes the first client for their small businesses, for the startups that then grow to the billion grosser businesses. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for everyone who has tried to congratulate us, because everything that has been spoken before, the collaboration between the businesses and the state, is quite clear. We have the negotiations there, but whatever we're doing for the communities, and that's the most important thing. The collaboration between the communities will definitely make the businesses and the state strong. Thank you, Olga. We're always saying that the businesses working with the people and for the people. So this is the bright example of how the businesses can help the community they're working with. Thank you very much for your example. So the next winner is the Anadolu FS, the project The Future for Tourism, the fund for the support of the sustainable tourism. They're promoting the sustainable tourism in Turkey. The company has the competition for the finalists are providing the support for creating the tourist-oriented businesses. So we are sending the finest greetings to Turkey, and we will definitely send you the award. And the final winner of our today's awards, that's the one we'd like to announce you with today, is the Kernel Company. The Kernel Company for the bee project, the collaboration between the beekeepers and the farmers. The bees have the safe space for life. Congratulations. Dear friends, thank you very much. Congratulations to all of you. This is all for our award ceremony. We're really grateful to all of you, because with the help of your examples, we're getting stronger. We're making our country a better place. And having that said, I would like to close our official part, and I would like to invite you to the other part of our room and to invite each and every one of you. Oh, we have forgotten that we need to make a photo all together. All of our winners, all of our finalists. So I would like to invite all of you here, so we will make this memorable moment even more memorable. So please do not be shy. Please join us there.